a bit of a scary position if you are a youngster, but it's all a fake. It's misdirection. It's smoke and mirrors because they're now pushing on catwalk, but LNZ is here, and the Swede has sent one player already packing. X-Flower now up to the task of taking one, but he's gone in for more. A second frag as he just flicks down and takes off the head and gives his team a 2v1.
Bomb planted briefly, but Tanir in position. He actually can't get the kill cleanly. The Lear is so low on health. Eventually, they'll be able to get the job done.
They don't have any smokes here, Hawker. They're going to have to dry peek this onto the site. They are so fortunate that Sunpius isn't watching with his scout, but it could just catch them off guard completely. Like, Sunpius has no idea. X-Cloud is now lining up the grenade, but it could be too little too late as they now explode out onto long, and Sunpius has 4 players just spraying him down.
Oh man, just the walk up short from Nemiga, something that Heroic briefly overlooked. As you said, you could see X-File completely clueless as to how far up onto the site they could be. Maybe that is something to do with it, but either way, it's costed them. And here come the long fights early. Heroic heavy stack on long. The smoke has gone into the corner though. They're still fighting round it here, and Khan incredibly low on health. He'll get the long control, but that was costly there for Nemiga, losing a player and losing a lot of health on Khan.
And really not scratching too much of the surface on Heroic either. 2 players with negligible damage on Youngster and Teenier, so they're not going to be too worried about re-peeking through smokes or trying to maybe hit and run. X-Flower with the 5-7 up on short, but he's not going to be required on that position at least. LNZ goes out, more damage inflicted, but there was no follow-up from teammates. So although he has inflicted a bit of pain and suffering, the same can now be said for Teenier, who gets a grenade straight on his head. There's a flash in, another dink. All 3 players around 10 or less health. And although the plant will be coming through successfully, there's surely going to be Heroic's round at this point. As they finish off the weakened, limping Nemiga squad, Heroic get the successful defuse in. You can see Youngster's like, where the hell's the bomb at? It's right under your nose, Chief.
It feels like it could be a really hotly contested series, just with how this has started.
Yeah, this really does factor into what we were kind of anticipating and hoping for. An enticing prospect between these squads. And Zwei, he's just going to bypass the smoke. That's the kind of aggression you were talking about. But Youngster, he is alert to that possibility. And although Heroic do have the player advantage, mid-control now falling under the way of Nemiga, and Xanta's trying to make the most of this. He's getting up close with the timing of that AUG. Teenier will put him down. And that makes this way less threatening, way less dangerous for Heroic. They've got a 2-player advantage, but they have thwarted the mid to B split.
With 35 seconds remaining, it's going to be so hard for Nemiga to find a way in. Khan would need to land some shots. Bit of information gathered, but now that's the bomb spotted, and the rotate will slowly but surely begin.
Oh, important trade. If that goes the way of Risky Bob, there was a window that just slightly maneuvers into an ajar position, but it has been slammed closed. And Khan, a bit of damage onto Teenier. 7 seconds left. The economy for Heroic not really justifiable to charge down the last T. So they'll agree on a ceasefire, which will see Heroic move forward to a 3-1 lead. Keeping Heroic on their tiptoes for the time being. Smoke goes out, more of a lurk smoke, and Teenier will retaliate in kind with one of his own, or Sunpius is getting aggressive here, and they're going to pop flash him in from LNZ. Sunpius on the wide swing, but everyone was looking at middle. Oh, it's backfired. They were looking at mid. Oh, it's gone from bad to worse as they lose multiple players on catwalk, and now Nemiga can pick the pace up. They've done the damage they were seeking. That is so unfortunate from Sunpius, though. Typically, that flash is going to hit 1 or 2 as they're about to peek round, especially at this time of the round, but they were caught between 2 mines. They had 2 players up on the perch looking at mid, maybe anticipating a short push from Youngster through the lower tunnels, or maybe just a mid push through the doors.
And the utility is starting to lack a little here on the Nemiga side. If they were to go in towards A, that AUG from Sunpius might have a good opportunity here. They're going to have to rely on just a couple of flashes.
And he's got that smoke down, but they're actually dropping into CT. Sunpius needs to do some heavy lifting. Or maybe not. Teenier's there to help him out, and it's LNZ that's held the line with 2. Lear frantically spraying through the smoke, finally finds his man. and it will yield the plant. An important trade goes against Xanta, and then Tina goes in for more. A 3K in the round.
Had to go for these pretty committed all-in plays to finally get fights. They've not been able to get clean advantages off of the early round. LNZ thinking about going for the aggression into long doors, decides against it, and Xanta comes right back at him. Heard the player up close, able to take him down, and this A site could be vulnerable now.
Oh, the Molotov. Oh, he just bypasses it and gets two. So he has no right to get both those kills. Maybe one at best. Drops to low HP. 1 HP on the board and somehow doubles up. And Heroic have been comprehensively outplayed in this one. You can make an argument for their second round off the back of a bit of a shambles for Heroic. That first round they picked up is when they just walked up catwalk. But that is the first time we've seen them just straight up win trades and then execute fully onto the site and get all the success they were hoping for. So signs of life for Nemiga.
Yeah, and Sunpice there, losing that AWP. I don't know if Youngster will be able to get it back because there are plenty of players coming his way. Oh, two through the doors, no way to deal with them. Nemiga back on track, finally able to pick up another round win. Yeah, I think he's realized this is the sort of round where his team would want him to take a risk, take initiative. But credit to Khan, he seemed aware of that himself, decided to flash Sunpice away. And in the meantime, Khan actually catching xFloud in mid. That was one of those weak weapons, having to hold the mid doors. Now Tanier will go aggressive, and the flash this time on point for Heroic. So they bring that frag back. He's got to be careful. Just a FAMAS on long, and the AK puts him down straight away.
That's the third time that has gone in favor of Xanta now out and long. Maybe a weakness has been spotted. Sunpice, though, with one. Doesn't snatch at the opportunity, just picks around the corner, but Khan nearly lines up for two. Nearly a collapse shot. Sunpice finally gets his man, and Xanta last spotted on long. From LNZ's perspective, gonna walk head-to-head with Sunpice, and he blasts him away. Just the one death in coming up to 10 rounds is pretty impressive, but goes to show how A and mid-centered these rounds have been from Nemiga's perspective.
Very true. Meanwhile, LNZ up close does damage, but xFloud was hoping he could get set up for success, but the trades are just too quick. And so he realizes he might not be able to go too far into the open. He had the bomb there. Playing a dangerous game, but his teammates are trying to help from short, and the kills just keep on coming. Nemiga finding frags all over the map. And I thought Heroic were going to have this round, but I don't think there's anything Sunpice can do about this.
Yeah, it's time to save. The money's also straight up in the bin, so there is no possibility that he's even thinking about going for this. As you can see from his perspective, he's already backing off. And now they're going to explode back in with a solid buy into the next one. So this could be a 6-6 coming up. And Heroic will be ruining their missed opportunities. Nice shot from Sunpice in the dying embers. So at least they will have an open play. The situation was getting the better of them, but now they are finding themselves in a bit of a flow state. Some really good calls and reads, but also following it up with perfect executions. And this last round of the half is going to see xFloud just picked off in midair. But also the buy here is so bad, Hawk. Like, you got 5.7s, you got an MP9, and that's basically all. No, one of many, really. They've been... When you consider that first round they picked up was just the straight-up raw push onto catwalk, catching Sunpice off guard. I think that was maybe a little taster, an appetizer of what was to come. So it looks like it will finish 6-6 in the half. And again, Heroic will go back to that missed opportunity against a weakened Nemiga. Could have been an 8-4 half scoreline for Heroic, but they'll be keeping themselves believing, having faith that they can still pick this round up. Already a third of the timer on the fuse has ticked away, though, so they're going to have to pick up the pace here. And Zwei lays down LNZ, padding his stats with a 3K. And Nemiga get across the finish line as expected. So all even at half-time. We expected it to be close, and so far will be occupying the T side, but they need to be careful because Zwei's moved up with the Julies into lower tunnels, and I don't believe he was spotted.
Could be really dangerous here. Oh, he's actually dealt with, though. Tanier gets him down with the Glock, and now the players from lower tunnels able to find even more. Heroic off to a great start.
No, he's saying that Tania maybe slowed down a little bit, but he's picked it back up again. Leah, though, through the smoke, perforating the aforementioned Tania's head, but it's not going to stop the plant from coming through successfully. LNZ dialing in the digits and punches the code in. And Nemiga, all three of them from CT side? Oh, this could be just carnage. You don't expect it necessarily, though, if you're on the side of Heroic. Typically, you're expecting like a long rotation, maybe catwalk, so they may get baited into a false sense of security, but LNZ doesn't give a damn. 3 headshots in quick succession, and the IGL pushes his team into a lead again.
Yeah, they had that player on long for Heroic, and they had the smoke on short, so LNZ full focuses CT. You still wouldn't expect him to get this much done. They'll have to play for the 10-second defuse if that bomb gets planted, but they can play with aggression, push into lower tunnels. Sway has taken a ton of damage on mid in the meantime, but they're not ready. They're not ready, Heroic. They could be done for. Just the 1 kill for now, but they are getting crunched in on.
And decent damage also to Sun Pius, who is going to shake that off. Dealing fatal blow to Xanta. Oh, LNZ's position compromised. He did do damage. A headshot connects, but it's not enough to send Sway packing. The problem here, though, for Nemiga is B-site is difficult to retake at the best of times. Sure, they have a player advantage, but 2 of them are limping their way to the site. And they know 1 bullet will seal the deal onto Sway or Khan. At this point, you've got to think about economy as well. It really sucks. I'm sure they'll still try and go in for it. They are an aggressive kind of team and outfit, but they've already taken a lot of time off this fuse. It's starting to look rough. They're going to have to push through this smoke and a flashbang on top of it. And Risky Bob does get the opener. That's huge for them. Now comes down to Sun Pius. Caught in 2 minds. Does connect the shot, but is there no kit? There's no time. The round still goes the way of Heroic, and one of these players may die to the bomb if they're not careful. They should be okay, but the damage has been inflicted. 3 casualties, and the round still goes to Heroic. Looking at 10-6, but that is a big grenade. LNZ eats the bulk of it down to 44, but it's not going to deter them from pressing forward. Another HE now tossed in. It does also just land straight on Sun Pius, catches it in his pocket. Crossfire now also set up. They have to commit to this. There's not enough time, and they've also given up most of the control of the map. But Youngster decides it's his time to shine, and shine he shall, with 2 headshots and entry frags. And now although Sway is keeping this round alive, it's not for much longer. Khan, with the arduous, difficult task of trying to retake and clutch with an AWP against a 1v2, and now he's been spotted, and that probably seals the fate of this round. If he peeks again, he could just straight up die, and that would be a disaster. The money from Nemiga, they have to save this AWP. He's got to get out of there.
He's finally realizing that he just has to back away.
But Heroic are looking to try and pick up the pace, maybe realizing there could be a weakness over on the B side, but it will be against Sway on his FAMAS. And so you can't take anything for granted here. The spray is good for 1 and a headshot on the 2nd, but they're wrapping around the back so quickly, not for the first time. Risky Bob, it's a shooting gallery, but Youngster plants his feet and gets 2. Somehow down into a 2-on-2, but he is going to be pushed once again, and he's on low HP on 19 health, but can't miss the sitter, and he's been punished accordingly.
But in this round, he may have made all the difference because the reroute over to the A-bomb site is going to make this oh so difficult for Lear. I think he may still feel he has to go for it, though. 10-6 down. It's a 1v2. It's not going to feel impossible, but with that smoke up in his face, how's he going to find an angle here?
I'm sure the information's been passed that Youngster at least is low as well. That was confirmed damage. The spray's good. Leah now has a chance. Both players weakened. A HE and a flash for Youngster. Does he opt to use it or just stand with the assault rifle? And Leah, he is going to save the day for his team, leading by example with a 1v2 clutch.
And now Heroic are limited on what they can get in this round, and they may look to long.
Oh, this time it's Xanta that goes down, prey to the double push. Calm with 1 as a parting gift, but will that be enough to stop the onslaught, to save the site? They're looking to sequester this from the side of Heroic and pushing up close in the smoke. Risky Bob gets himself the MP9 frag. Khan missing out on that chance, may get punished, and Will falls prey to Tina's AK. Oh, and through the smoke, but Tina runs out of ammunition. It's an awkward encounter, but Sun Pius is there to lend a helping hand with the scout. Nemiga have fell flat. And this is one of the concerns I had. It's like you lose a map, you're going to go back to the drawing board and really scout this one out. Meanwhile, though, Heroic are picking up the pace, looking to try and finish it right here, right now. And although Khan valiantly gets 2, eventually he's going to fall down because his site partner is no longer in the server. Teen with an important headshot onto Leah. Smoke's being tossed in. Khan down to just 8 HP. And the smoke's beginning to land and fade away this push. That's a lot of time that's going to get eaten off the clock. So they're going to have to go into window. But then you're in that claustrophobic bottleneck choke point. And Teen has been so on point with the rifle. 18 kills to his name. Molotov coming through, so he's going to back away. Bit of damage done, but Youngster's there to just shut the door on Khan. And now from above, Xanta somehow gets both. But he doesn't have the kit. Yes, he has. He's just picked it up, and that allows him the luxury of clutching.
It looks like they were just looking to pressure this A side and see if they could force a response from Nemiga. Sunpice was still holding that cross. Meanwhile, Risky Bob. Well, that is a risky game he's playing, and it's cost him. xFlow gets him in the midst of the smoke. And now Heroic have that advantage, and they're happy to work with it.
Oh, ooh. Speaking of risks, Khan felt like he had to try and make a play. If he gives up mid, it was only Zwei by himself on the side, but Zwei has kind of forged a path for himself. He decides the best way of getting through this is to fight, is to grit your teeth and just push, and that's the bomb that's been put down in the tunnels. This now a winnable round for Zwei, but he's just slightly off with his spray, but he's weakened 3 targets. And between Xanta and Leah, with only 20 seconds left, oh, they've elected not to try and push in and deal with the bomb, so they're going to allow a post plant to come in, and xFlow has the angle. Only 8 bullets in the magazine, so has to trade across, but he's put this down into another Xanta. 1v2. Is he going to be able to wind it back again and allow history to strike twice? The bomb is being planted with just 3 seconds on the clock. LNZ and Teen both weakened, both wounded, and Xanta, the way he played that last round was so exquisite, but 2 completely separate angles. Gonna have to get the protractor out and figure out how the hell to calculate this one. But a headshot makes things so much easier. But Xanta cannot deliver again. It's asking too much of the man. And Heroic take Nemiga's pick.
So close in the end there. Those last few rounds were so intense, coming down to the wire on multiple occasions.
But it's more of a bait here because Heroic are just standing position. They've backed off, but they're holding the line. And it looks like Xanta may walk straight into this trap. The timing, though, may very well work against him because now he's been spotted, but he takes down both.
Wow, that second shot's a stunner onto Tanir through the side of the wall. And that will completely dissuade Heroic from going over towards that B side of the map. But look at that from Youngster. He catches Zwei a little overexposed out on the A site. And that should allow a pretty safe passage for this bomb.
He's carved a path. He's brute forced his way into a CT box position. The flash is so good, and he instantly taps the head off of Risky Bob. But Leah able to return the favor. I think xFlow took 2 separate pair of footsteps running across the CT. Oh, he's going to wait. He's going to bide his time. He's going to make sure he shuts them both down. Sunpice information has been attained. 2 of the 3 are known quantities. It's about where that 3rd player is. So Sunpice is watching for the backstab, the flank. The smoke has gone down, though. Have they overthought this one? Oh, xFlow, and I'll be thinking maybe I should have just snatched the life away of that one player.
2 smokes on mid early might make it difficult for Khan to deny Sunpice this early map control. Zwei happy to go aggressive, but LNZ puts him down. What a shot.
I honestly thought from the perspective of Zwei that he had that kill kind of dead to rights, but hell of a wide swing from LNZ. Give him all the credit. Flashbang is good into Khan. It's going to force away Leah's positioning and allow Sunpice, more importantly, to make up the space. Now, though Xanta is around the corner, he should be able to see Teen in now. It's a free frag. And they're also going to push out Connector at the same time. It's Sunpice. He is aware of that being a possibility. Holding the line, gets baited out, and he will die. Mid-control in the favor of Nemiga, but they've lost the A site. And although a smoke has gone down, it won't stop them from peeking up on the staircase, which I'm sure that Heroic will be more than capable of dealing with. So Xanta needs to be careful here. If he goes down, the round very well could fall with him. Risky Bob with the AWP, not typically the AWPer on the team, has been spotted as he misses his shots. And Nemiga already into a bit of an awkward position. They only have a smoke and a flash to get back on the site with. One of the 2 players is rocking the AWP as well, so could very well decide to just go for the save. And Risky Bob was backing off to the T-spawn in a slightly different angle, trying to get Heroic in the back if they can, but xCloud, he's peering around this corner slowly. I think he just heard a jump and nearly gets the upper hand. Nearly shuts down Xanta, who goes back in for more. Doesn't do really any damage in the process, but there is Risky Bob using the second AWP.
Still this A side being collapsed in on though. Lear taking a ton of damage in the process of getting his frag, and he can't reposition. Those smokes fade just as Tanir finds the angle. And now Khan in CT can't really move forward with the flames in his face. He'll clear the plant, he'll go for the shot. It looks like some players will get it down safely, and it's 2 AWPs right now. They're really trying what they can on this retake. But how the hell do you get back into this bomb site?
I don't think you can, in all honesty. Even if they get the first pick, well, where's the rest of the cavalry there? Tine has just baited out Sunpius horrifically. There's a flash tossed in, but I mean, they knew both players were in CT boxes, so it's so surprising to me that they're not playing together. Heroic. Surely you don't lose this round. It's the full defuse. 1 bullet needs to seal it up, and they get it done with a millisecond left on the defuse. That was nearly...
But this time there's no AWPs around it. It is just the weak weapons for Nemiga. Oh, I like the stack. Uh-oh.
No. Yeah, I mean, shooting with USP sometimes does feel like you're firing blanks, in all honesty, against Armor. Yeah, smoke's now coming through. Youngster in the Palace is maybe going to be one of the first players to come out, but he needs to be careful. There is Sway alongside Xanta in close proximity. Xanta smoking himself into shadow and hoping for the best, but he gets peeked before it can fully plume. Leah from Sandwich, though, nearly gets 2 for his troubles. There's so much carnage and chaos means tons of time left on the clock, as it was rapid fire frags. And now the plant is down successfully. A Molotov and a HE on the side of Heroic, but a ton of utility, including an AWP for Khan as he slowly protrudes and peers up on the CT boxes. Risky Bob making inroads through on connector. Going to be looking to try and strike together. Molotov forces Lyle Z out into the open, and Khan will oblige, snatches his life away. Sunpius playing in the open angle right now. Risky Bob hasn't seen him. Oh, the spray though is rough. It's going to cost him his life, or perhaps not. The full defuse in the smoke, and Sunpius has no idea. And this time Nemiga get it. This time they're able to successfully get the defuse in, and Sunpius, even though he tries the burst clock.
Oh, speaking of a well-executed execute in the previous round, that's a window smoke that's missed. That could be really costly with Khan having the AWP. Hopefully they realize, hello, what a shot that is.
Wings xCloud. Oh, gets him through the box. What a shot. Oh, man. But yeah, you can see. First hand hockey nailed it. Like, they missed the window smoke. They have to utilize the second smoke just to get out, but they couldn't fully spread their wings and soar through on the middle connector. And now Xanta making the most of that. I love this heads-up call. Mid-control completely backfires, so you get aggressive through on the B apps, and you just smother Heroic before they can get close.
Oh, sticks around, but not in an angle where he's going to get picked off too soon, but he is trapped in this corner. Sunpius might know this, and he hunts him down. Now the rotation will begin from Nemiga, and Risky Bob hears all those steps, so they can hopefully get into the site. That's what they're looking to do here.
Oh, that trade, though, is massive. It goes in favor of Sunpius. Risky Bob may get a shutdown, but there is a smoke as well in the mix. Amongst all of it, is he going to walk straight past? Oh, he's been nailed by Tine. He had no idea he could be up on that angle. And Sunpius puts the last nail in the coffin. Wow. Insult to injury. Nemiga get a 5v3, 2 massive picks, and they do nothing with it.
The 2K in the previous, up at the top of the board now. It does look like we'll get some aggression on mid for Nemiga. Looks like they do want to contest this at least a little, but the player in underpass has been mollied. Xanta, he gets away with 1. Meanwhile, flash in, and Risky Bob gets the advantage.
Oh, just everyone
wow.
has been sent into the Lions' den, and no survivors.
Because Heroic were clearly trying to run a little distraction on mid. But the Nemiga are far forward ahead of the nades, and now they'll go back to this A execute. Sway playing back on CT. He may just have to give this up.
Yeah, this definitely has the vibes of a retake, doesn't it? Like, there's no one in forward positions. You know, you don't have anyone around Palace, balcony, shadow, so you're going to have to give this one up and then try and fight together back as a reunited force. But Youngster is going to make the most of that opportunity up in the tall booth, and it's going to be Zwei that pays with his life. Khan meanwhile gets one, but it's a counter frag from Xanta. Back and forth in favor of Nemiga, but caught with a grenade out is Xanta. He was low, trying to fend off and be useful for his teammates to get back on the site as they're both around stairs, respectively. And LNZ, he's aware of this. Pius nails the shot on the cross, changing up his angle. Doesn't want to see any more smoke diffuse shenanigans. He's already been on the wrong side of that, and he says no to Risky Bob emphatically with his AWP. There's certain places you can hold, or you don't necessarily have to fire off the shot, but that's not one of them. Because if one player's crossed, which you saw, it's very easy to jump over and mess with the aim and then just basically overwhelm you. Wasn't sure how many players were on the ramp side either, so I like that play from Pius. And Youngster, again, getting the opening pick and putting Nemiga against the wall. They only have Zwei here on the A side. Everyone else is over on B.
Zwei still wants to play aggressive, and this might be hard to read for Youngster with that molly just in play. That is an AK upgraded to for Zwei. And the ramp players don't get out in time, so he can reposition onto the site, but he's still just so exposed, so alone. He may start to get the info, but he may be in trouble, getting crunched in from Connector. Too many angles to deal with.
It's a valiant attempt from Zwei, but unfortunately just too many players to deal with and no real presence on Catwalk. They did have a play there, but it's the MP9 at that longer range where it's basically just mosquitoes against the windshield. And now Leah up close has made so much noise, trying to draw out the shot. Be careful what you wish for, though. He's had his legs blown out, but still able to deliver the fatal blow into X-Flower, but that is one of many issues he has to contend with. Now he's alone, flashes and HEs, does connect a shot through the smoke onto Bias, but jumps right by the very capable hands of Tania.
It means that Nemiga is still very much in this map. Couple of pieces of utility from Lear deployed onto the A bomb site, but there are 4 CTs here as it stands.
Nice shot, Risky Bob cracks open the connector. Now X-Flower can try and focus his attention over there, but in actual fact, it was Lear that was also protruding through on the ramp. He's going to back away as they have some control over the CT side, and it looks like Nemiga may very well dial in both pistol rounds here on Mirage, barring a huge miracle play from X-Flower or maybe Youngster who's on low HP, and if he decides to peek into window, he will be backstabbed. Whether it be by the Glock or the knife, but he does check his angles anyway and gets the reward for it. Problem is, though, that the man advantage is so heavily in favor of Heroic.
Quick mid-round call there from Nemiga. That was what was most impressive. It was a good call, but most importantly, they were very quick to realize, okay, this A site feels heavily reinforced. And also, I think more importantly, the bomb was left solo on ramp after X-Flower got that initial kill.
Nemiga, they're not sure about potential flanks. They're not sure if they're about to get backstabbed.
Oh, I still don't know about this hold, though. A scout and the dualies, but you're going to get mollied out of position, and now Pius. How do you pull this off? The answer is you don't. You drop back. At the same time, though, is saving the scout really worth it. So he's going to stick around for a kill. Xanta giving him that opportunity. 4v4 though, bomb planted. The retake feels very unlikely.
It is a huge downgrade in multiple facets. So Youngster, if he can get this drop on the Risky Bob, a bit slow on the draw, but still gets it done. And now the scout comes to fruition. Now, it's kind of twofold. I think they want to try and take weapons away, but also let the bomb maybe detonate one of these other players as well. It's going to force the Nemiga out into the open. Leah nearly goes down with the ship. And Zwei, he actually has neutralized the AK. They can't pick it back up again. And Pius dies. Oh, catastrophe at the end for Heroic. It was looking so good.
They have that AWP in the hands of Pius, who we were hoping would have the freedom now on the CT side to really open up. Oh, X-Flower taking big damage on mid. And now Pius will be forced away. Damage onto him as well.
Which is so good right now for the Nemiga. Maybe proving us wrong about this Mirage. Heavily favoring Heroic in terms of all the statistics, but stats don't matter when the pressure of a major is on the line. And Zwei deals fatal damage to Tina. Nothing that LNZ can get in terms of success. And Pius, who was low earlier, has now been finished off. Youngster can do little but try and hold on to this Galil. He decides to get aggressive behind it. This round is a done deal, though. There's the shutdown. The AK has traded hands, but there will be no further way forward as he is denied. Nemiga not just shutting down this rifle round with ease, but taking a 2-round lead on top of it. Sunbias hasn't pulled the trigger on throwing any of his grenades down. There we go. I was wondering when it was going to come through, whether it be a smoke or an incendiary. It is the incendiary. Flash is now down. Youngster's going to know exactly what's coming up. And the sideswipe in from Sunbias. Maybe didn't need to peek that. Play alongside Sunbias. Youngster gets a little bit too over-aggressive. Maybe anxiety creeping in, but whichever way you spin it, it's Nemiga again after losing the first player in prime position to extend their lead further. Flashbang tossed onto the CT boxes, does hit Tanier, but barely affects him. And with 14 seconds left, if he can deny the bomb plant, that may be good enough, but he's got 3 players staring him down. And now LNZ with a FAMAS, already tagged down to 13 HP. And in a post plant, all the pressure on him, and he cannot withstand the weight, the burden. Nemiga taking 11-7 lead.
This time Tanier would be close by on short to try and assist if necessary. And that might be needed here. Here's the flash into mid. Risky Bob able to deal with xFloud. That could make things uncomfortable now for Heroic as Sunbias goes off the angle, and this B site could be very, very exposed at this moment. The smoke's about to come into Sunbias' position and he's leaving the site.
Oh, he decides to press forward. I'm surprised at that. You would think the way they've been playing so far, they would have just tried to back off and save, but I guess they've hit that breaching point. They've expended all of their patience. They know they have to start fighting for rounds, but that was not the time. No one there to help him, but now Tania, against a low, weakened Leah, takes him out. The bomb was making moves over in the hands of Khan, but there's only 15 seconds to play with. He has no choice. He has to go onto the B site. Risky Bob could very well clear out this Tania presence, and in doing so win the round, but now that he's been taken out of the equation, he'll win based off time, if not kills. Tania has just clutched out Heroic's life on their map, giving them a chance to build themselves back in. Molly down to top boxes. Tania's going to force them out into the open, but decides to back away. Flashing in for a potential peek for xFloud. It is good, but it's more to allow him to reposition with the HE, and Youngster has got his man. Now pushing into xFloud are the T's. It's a little bit of a labored spray on the second time of asking, so Khan does get his man of xFloud, and Youngster, who was perched up on the sandwich, sent packing, but Sunpire still delivering with the AWP, and the HE from range, the touchdown onto Khan, leaving Leah with 29 HP to his name. And no control over the bomb, but he has now picked it up. Gonna just try and force this plant down, but Heroic will not allow him that luxury. 2 rounds in a row. It's been a nice 3 rounds, but I'm still not entirely sold on this Heroic CT side. And that's why the B site has been a consistent problem. Tania, though, I was going to say, with a HE, maybe gets a bit of success, but Santa just goes back in for a second entry, and that now forces Sunbias to fully commit to the B site. Passing it across. Nemiga moving in. xFloud just needs to stay in position as it stands. They're about to walk head first into a trap. Sunbias needs the kill, connects it. Although xFloud has died, Sunbias is a real problem at the back of the site. Smoke also to allow him to relocate onto the bench, and now the backstab comes in. Youngster unsheaths his blade and plunges it between the shoulders of Nemiga. And with 13 seconds, Leah stuck in such a horrible position. It's hellacious for him, and he has to try and use that smoke to his advantage. Sprays through there, but Sunbias once again passes with flying colors, and we are back to an even keel.
xFloud has really stepped it up here in and around connector. But it's looking like that A side of the map might be tested early.
Oh, that smoke comes down to Palace. It's going to maybe disjoint the attack somewhat. It has been blown open. Youngster with a spray, though, doing a lot of damage, but taking it in return. Sunbias also has been put to the sword early on. There is a real opportunity for Nemiga to take us to OT. All the momentum, all of the wind was taken out of their sails. But they're able to put them back up again, and a second gust, a second wind comes through. And Leah, he's making moves round the back, taking a page out of Youngster's book with a backstab, but it may not be required because everybody is being capitulated, vanquished off the A site for Heroic. And Tania trying to use the smoke as his ally, his only remaining friend, but it will not be enough to withstand 5 players. And to OT, we move.
How do Heroic want to approach mid then? Because they've got the B-Apps info, they've got good info in A-Ramp. They must know that mid is vulnerable, and they still want to fight it. They get a 1-for-1 trade, but xCloud now decides he has to just tuck back. With good reason, because Nemiga still needs to make a move, and look at that from LNZ. That all finally coming into play. Bianca getting that kill, being able to fall back, and now Heroic in good position. But as soon as I say that, Youngster goes a little too far, and it's back to even numbers.
Near though with a shutdown. Oh, would have been disappointed he couldn't double up, especially as xCloud is low. And with 35 seconds, they have the choice of hitting either site. The bomb is dropped back over on the app side, on the T side of things. So Zway's now picked it up. Where does he decide to push with it? Almost shaking his head to the skies. Disappointed that he's all alone to fight off against two. Going straight to the site now. Not really being stealthy about it. Doesn't have the time, doesn't have the luxury to do so. Molotov is going to give his position away. And now LNZ on the cross is going to nail his shot.
Yeah, and he's had a bit of success with those proactive plays before, so not going to be too harsh on him. Especially when Heroic is still able to pick up the round win. And wow, Sumpire so quick into Palace. Heroic flowing with confidence right now, taking fights all over the map. This time Sumpire's back into ramp. Not quite on the money this time, but this time, Youngster on that close angle doesn't give away his position, and it works out for him.
Flash is so good, but so is Sunpius. Oh, another beautiful flick from the Spaniard, and he wants to go back in for more. Missing this time, but the weakened numbers doesn't really make a difference unless Xanta can do something truly spectacular. Second frag is good, but there will be no more where that came from. But take about Sunpius, those 3 kills are so vitally important and maybe just catapulted them across one step closer to the major.
Yet again, seeing just how good he can be on these bomb sites, working around these different angles. You could call it kind of a static AWPing in a sense, but the way he's having to work around these angles is so difficult. That's a great shot, and then, boom, pops up. That Palace player feels like he has to fight, and even at the end here, realizes.
And now they scramble for information, scramble to try and take control, but have a look at Youngster. He's down in the ramp side here. If he can take the bomb out of the hands of Zwei, and that can really throw a wrench in the works here on Nemiga's side, but he's actually bypassing it by going into Palace. And now Youngster has to force himself into the conversation. He's no longer looking to be defensive, he's being proactive, but caught in the back and taken out. Heroic will not get the clean sweep. Nemiga hanging on for dear life.
Yeah, you just see the gravity of Xanta there, just sucking attention of players towards him. That allows those mid players to find that fair fight against Sumpius. And then from there, Xanta even gets rolling on that lurk. Meanwhile, Zwei going aggressive on ramp. There was a player there to near watching. Don't think he quite spotted Zwei get up close. That bomb is going back to A as these mid players continue to look for the opening, and the flash is fantastic. In the meantime, though, Zwei gets the one-on-one fight, and oh no, he tries to change weapons, but that allows the Glock of Sumpius to take him out.
This utility is exquisite, by the way, from Heroic. Pop flashes into peaks, Molotovs into just fragging out as they have to push through it to try and desperately help their teammates. And now Khan is being ripped to shreds out on the ticket booth. It was a double AWP play, and it's now down to just the solo of Khan. And if Heroic successfully get this 1v4, it will be 2 more qualification points. And he's being swarmed in from the back as well. There is a flank coming in from xCloud. Whichever way you look at this, Khan's days are looking like they're pretty much done. Who collects the frag? Is he able to pick up any on his return? Yes, he is, but it's an even trade back and forth, and Heroic will secure 2 more match points, 2 more qualification points, and Nemiga once again struggling.
They only need 1 more to take this over the line now.
And speak of the man you just highlighted, Molotov out of position. As you have highlighted as well, his mid-control has been so good. A flash perfectly placed, a ton of damage onto Risky Bob, down to 8, and they're going to be pushing into underpass as well. It's Tini that's going to be trying to protrude through the smoke, but it's so thick it's enough to choke on, so he's going to have to just stand his position and wait for it to clear. And in doing so, Nemiga may back off, but instead, Risky Bob, living up to his name, getting aggressive behind the smoke, realizing he has to try and make a play, but in doing so, he's just given himself a cross and sacrificed himself for nothing. It's in vain. And Heroic in a 2-on-4 on the brink of securing the major. Make that a 1-on-4 with Leah all that remains. Make it the drop onto Dania. And does successfully pull it off, but now the information will be attained and gathered and allow the plant to come through. Heroic are about to get it done. It would be the first time for multiple of these players that they've ever made a major, they've ever been in a position like this in their career. And they're about to taste that success. And that dream is about to become a reality as Sunpius lays down the law onto Leah and Heroic, the first team to make the Austin Major from the EU qualifier.